Is this thing on? Is this thing on? So who is that? Oh my God. I know. I've been missing an itch. I know. But let me just tell y'all one thing. Okay, beloved, just sit down, take a seat, and let me just tell y'all one thing before we get this video started. Okay? So as you guys know, I went through the whole moving process and everything, and life has just been life. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. And in the midst of life, some very amazing things have happened, which I'm gonna share in another video. Hint, hint. Your girl is getting her BS in. Okay, but in other words, life has been life, and even though there are so many great things that have been happening in my life, literally, y'all, I was losing my thrill. I was losing my drive to create content. It got so heavy. So I don't think people understand that when you are doing this whole YouTube live, TikTok, Instagram, Reels, whatever. I don't think people understand how time consuming that really is. That I don't think people understand just how overwhelming that can be. Like I completely understand why actual influencers and content creators, because I don't consider myself that, I can see why they actually like quit their jobs and literally focus on just content because it damn near consumes your life. Like when I tell you I have thousands of emails that I just can't mentally because of my anxiety is like, oh my God, I want these people to stop emailing me. I gotta go to work. My children have school. I got this bill due. Life on top of trying to create content for me was just getting to be entirely too almost overwhelming for me. It was a little too much for me. So I needed to take a break. And not only that, but when you put so much into your content and into actually creating and you're not really seeing the fruits of your labor come out and you're putting so much into it and then you see people create content. I don't want to call anybody's content like dumb or nothing like that, but you see people create content and it like blows up and it's like, really? That's what y'all want to see. That's what y'all want to talk about. It could be very discouraging. So I'm trying to get back into the groove of actually wanting and enjoying creating content all over again. That's what I'm trying to do. And I say, you know what? I just got to get back to me. I have to get back to what I love about content and why I even started creating and sharing content in the first place, which is, of course, my career, nursing. Y'all know I absolutely love everything about my career. I absolutely love it. My spirituality, anything dealing with health and wellness and beauty. Y'all know I love it. And something y'all also may not know about me, I don't know if I ever mentioned it on my channel before, but your girl is a true crime junkie. Okay, when I tell you I absolutely love true crime, like I am addicted, it's not a second that I'm not, well, a free second that I can have that I'm not listening to a podcast or I'm watching somebody's YouTube channel or look, I be all on the true crime TikTok. Do you hear me? It is bad. It is bad. Okay. I say, you know what? I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna merge all of my love and my interests so that y'all can get back to seeing Brittany. So that y'all can get back to seeing me on my content, doing what I love, doing what I enjoy, giving it to y'all, fun, happy, bubbly as I am, and not feel so pressured and not feel so overwhelmed to do it. So, without further ado, I am starting a new series on this channel. Every Monday, we're gonna do Messy Murderers Mondays. Okay, we're gonna do Messy Murderers Mondays because let me tell you something. I love true crime, but I, as a nurse, loving my career field, I have never really seen anybody go into detail about like specifically nurses that whether accidentally or intentionally, I don't see anybody actually go into like detail and have specific true crime channels just for healthcare related individuals that. So I say, you know what? I'm gonna start it. And if it's out there and I didn't see it, my bad if I didn't start it. I'm starting it on my channel. Get out your feelings, whatever. So that's what we're doing today. And let me tell y'all something. Y'all know I love to teach. Y'all know everything I do, I gotta drop little gems in to try to educate. And just like that, my microphone died. I've never used a microphone before, so maybe I should have charged it before I took it out the box to do this video. It is what it is. But as I was saying, y'all know I love to teach, and I want to give y'all as much information as I can in every way possible that I can. So even in these videos, even in these true crime videos that I'm starting, this Messy Murder Nurse Mondays with Brittany Deshay, I'm going to be teaching y'all because I need y'all to understand just how dangerous and just how easy it is to not only off somebody but lose your license, even if you don't have the intention to do that. You need to make sure that you not only love what you do, but you need to make sure that you are prioritizing care and safety for these patients. You have to. In a split second like that, literally your license is gone and somebody's family member is either injured or dead. And we don't want that. We are trying to save lives, not kill them. We ain't trying to hurt and harm nobody. Okay? They fighting enough. We want to save lives. That is what we are here to do. That's what we took an oath to do. So in these videos and on this channel, not only are you going to learn about these, some of them is cycles. Okay? Some of them are 6 cycles. Like the first case we're going to talk about is a 6 cycle. And some of them are literally nurses that were overwhelmed, that literally made one small, simple mistake that ended in a tragedy. And we are going to use these videos not to shame. Some of them we're going to shame. And all of them are literally here to teach. We want to put forth education out there, okay? We want to make sure that we are putting our best foot forward every step of the way. Every single time that we hit the floor, every single time that I don't care what facility you in. I don't care the type of environment you in. I don't care if it's a nursing home, a hospital, a jail, a psych facility. I don't care if you work for the NFL, okay? We want to make sure that we are always putting our best foot forward and providing the care that is needed, okay? We're not trying to hurt or harm anybody. And in a split second, a wrong decision, even accidental, can literally cost you everything and someone their life, okay? So in these videos, we're going to get into it. We are mixing my 2 loves, my career, nursing, and true crime. So without further ado, let's get into our very first episode 1 of our new series, Messy Murder and Nurse Mondays with Brittany Deshay. Let's get into it. Ciao. Let me tell y'all something. This ain't nothing but a little cranberry and pomegranate. That's all it is, okay? It probably should be a little hit or something a little stronger because this case right here, Miss Ma'am, absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's get into it. So, in today's case, our very first episode, we are going to be talking about the wonderful not child of God, Miss Heather Pressdee. I don't know if you heard about her. I hadn't heard about it until maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, and I actually started researching this case, and let me tell y'all something. Absolutely not. I could take Miss Ma'am behind the back shed and really do her something because absolutely not. This absolutely should never have happened. But let's get into it. So, on today's case, we have Miss Heather Pressdee. Miss Wonderful Heather Pressdee, not child of God, was born August 28th, 1982, which makes her a Virgo. I ain't gonna say nothing, but Virgos can be very strategic. And let me just tell something. Miss Ma'am was very strategic in what she did and how she did it, okay? Let me just say, she got me all worked up. She got me all worked up. Miss Ma'am was planning her crimes to the T. Do you hear me? Miss Ma'am was making sure she dotted every I and crossed every T. She was very strategic. She lived up to her Virgo name. Okay? No shade, no tea to my Virgos out there. She was one of the bad. I talk a little bad. Y'all know I talk a little fast. Y'all know my tongue a little heavy. If I mispronounce things, charge it to my mind and not my heart, I'm trying. Okay? So, Miss Heather Pressdee was born in Natrona Heights, Pennsylvania. Not too much is really known about her childhood and her early life, which I'm not gonna lie, I could see goddamn why. I could see why nobody would want to come forward and say they know her. I could see why nobody would want to say, oh, I went to school with her and we was friends. I could see why nobody has much information on her. I can see why. I wouldn't want nothing to do with her either. But this ain't about me. This is about her. So, apparently, from 2003 to 2004, Miss Ma'am actually attended but did not finish school at Allegheny County Community College. Okay, that is where she went. It should have stopped right there. She shouldn't have went nowhere else. It should have stopped right there, but she kept on trying. Okay. Sometime after, she either left or was kicked out. Reading about her, I'm pretty sure she was kicked out. She was kicked out of school and became a vet tech at Pittsburgh Veterinary Specialty and Emergency Center. Okay, that's where she stayed and worked at for over 14 years. Baby, she was killing and putting the sick puppies to bed. Okay, she was getting the sick puppies and sick animals up out of here. Okay, because sometimes she had to euthanize them. That's where she should have stayed at. Okay, no shade, no tea to Peter. Okay, no offense to Peter. Okay, I love y'all. I love the animals, but I much rather her silent night the animals than to be silent night and sending the people to glory. Okay, I would have much rather her stayed with the sick puppies than the sick people. Okay, and you're gonna see why. So, I guess when killing and murdering the sick cats and the dogs wasn't good enough, okay, Miss Ma'am decided in 2016 that she was gonna go back to school and she was gonna get her associate's degree and become an RN. I sure wish her ass would have failed NCLEX. I sure wish she would have failed NCLEX. And we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this right now. But unfortunately, we are. Unfortunately, she passed. She had her associates and became a registered nurse. Okay? From there, Miss Girl worked at least 6 different facilities in 3 years. Now, let me tell y'all something. If you a PRN princess, that's not alarming. That's not alarming. If you PRN part-time from here to there, that's not nothing to be ashamed of. That's not nothing that's, really eye-opening. But if you are full-time, 6 different facilities within 3 years, that is insane. That's insane. You hopping from job to job for something. You are hiding something. Why are you hopping from place to place at all these different facilities? What you trying to hide? She had a lot to hide. She had a lot to hide, okay? So, from there, as a matter of fact, I don't know who the hell or why the hell they kept hiring Miss Ma'am, but somebody just kept offering her a job. And see, that's something else that is very scary in the nursing world. It is so easy to get a job. Very first prison that I worked at, all I did was orientation, baby. I went there and said, absolutely not. This jail is not for me. Y'all have absolutely nothing organized. The inmates damn near run the jail. Baby, I'm not coming here. I'm not risking my license and coming up in here. Okay? Literally. There was no call to check references or anything like that. It was like I just put the application and it was like, you're hired. Damn. Could you check my background? Could you do something? You know what I'm saying? It is, in certain cases, it is far too easy and simple for nurses to just hop from place to place in certain cases, especially if you're doing something like PRN. They're not normally doing like in-depth backgrounds, and a lot of them don't even do federal background checks. They only do like statewide. You know what I'm saying? So if you actually have like a felony in another state or something like that, they're not checking for that. That is terrifying, and that's something that needs to change. But anyway, let's keep going. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep talking about Miss Ma'am. Heather worked at 11. Take the 7 off the 11. 11 different nursing facilities. 11 different nursing facilities since 2018. 11. Even though her little ass kept getting fired for patient mistreatment and staff and administration continuously, let me tell you that she was being reported, okay? She was continuously being reported. Staff, administration, and even a physician voiced frustrations and concerns that she did not need to be working with patients. A physician, other nurses, Family members, other staff and administration continuously voiced frustration that something was not right with Miss Ma'am. Something was not right with Miss Girl. Something was something up here was absolutely just bonkers. Something up here was not right. And nobody paid attention. Nobody paid attention. Nobody paid attention. They just said, sweep it under the rug. We need a nurse. Let it go. We need a nurse. That's what they did. That's literally what they did. Oh well, keep going. We need a nurse. So she would literally hop from facility to facility, and she would actually give fake numbers for references. So it was very hard for a lot of facilities to actually backtrack and get a history on her. And it's actually been said and been stated that she was actually giving like family numbers, phone numbers to these facilities and having them pretend to be, a reference or whatever. Now let me tell y'all a little secret. I think every nurse, I think everybody who's ever, applied for a job has kind of done that to some degree. Like, this was just my coworker, but I'm gonna put her name as my supervisor. So, I think we all have done that, and I think we've all done it. And I think that jobs actually know that we do that. I think, well, not we, personal. Hey, I'm saying I think that all jobs know that people do that. But if you have references that are not even answering the phone, if you cannot talk to anybody about this person's history, move along. I know now, if I apply for a job at certain places as a nurse, they will literally call you or email you and tell you, hey, we reached out to your reference. They need to reach out by this date, this time, or we're going to have to, basically throw your application away or whatever. Or can you give us another reference, somebody that we can actually speak with? Apparently, they wasn't doing that for Miss Ma'am. Apparently, Miss Pressdee was able to just press alone. Okay? So, let's get into her crimes and what she actually did. With that little bit of history, because that's literally all we have. When I tell y'all I have researched this lady till I can't research her no more, and it is so hard to find an actual long backstory on her, because I like to actually understand the history and the backstory behind the person and what kind of makes them think the way they think. What kind of makes them do the things that they do. What made you turn out to be an absolute psycho? But she didn't have all of that, unfortunately. So we're working with what we got. Now let's get into the crimes of Miss Heather Pressdee. Okay? So in May of 2023, y'all, this just happened. This just happened. It's 2024. This just happened. In May of 2023, after being investigated, finally, praise to God, Miss Heather was arrested on suspicion of murder. Right? And she admitted, almost instantaneously, she admitted to killing and attempting to kill another patient. Okay? Her three victims at this time were James Bartle, who was 55, Gerald Strum Sr., who was 90, and Nicholas Simble, which was 43 years old. Nicholas Simble and Gerald Strum Sr. were both residents at the Sunnyview Nursing and Rehab Center in Pennsylvania. And y'all, please pay attention to what I'm about to say, because it is sickening how dangerous an accidental medication error like this can be fatal. It is sickening that she literally did this intentionally, okay? So I want y'all to keep that in mind, okay? So with Mr. Strum, she intentionally gave a lethal dose of insulin. Intentionally. She intentionally gave this man a higher doses of insulin that was needed, okay? And when that didn't work, she decided to create an air embolism. She injected him. She created an air embolism into this man. When the insulin didn't do its job, well, it did its job, but not the job that she was looking for. When that didn't work, she created an air embolism. Now, with Mr. Simble, Nicholas Simble, she also gave, intentionally administering, a lethal dose of insulin. We are all nurses, or aspiring nurses here, okay? So it is very important that we know and understand what these are, how they work, and how fatal they can be, okay? So with insulin, we know that this is produced in the pancreas and it helps to regulate and lower our blood glucose, right? Blood sugar. So there are two different types of diabetics, right? There are either diabetics whose pancreas don't produce any insulin at all, which would be diabetes mellitus type 1, or their pancreas don't produce enough insulin, which would be diabetes mellitus type 2, okay? It's either none, DM1, or not enough, DM2. 9 times out of 10, both of these patients will require some type of form of synthetic insulin, especially type 1, because the pancreas is not producing any insulin at all. So they're going to need insulin, okay? With diabetes mellitus 2, normally if a person can modify their lifestyle, change their diet, get into some exercise, get a little more active, you can normally not require the insulin injection. You may be on something like metformin, or you may be on an oral hyperglycemic medication, okay? Which is basically a medication that's going to help regulate your blood sugar because you do produce some form of insulin without needing an actual insulin injection, okay? However, if a patient is given too much of the synthetic form, this can be fatal. They can die. Okay? Because all this medication is doing is picking up the slack from wherever the pancreas lacks. Whether it's lacking no insulin at all, or whether it's lacking just not enough and we need just a little bit of help. But keep in mind, some of her patients were not even diabetic. And I'm saying patients at the moment, but they were victims, okay? Some of them were not even diabetic. They did not even require insulin at all. There was no need and no reason to be giving these patients insulin. None. Okay? She was intentionally doing this. Okay? Now, an air embolism is when air or gas gets trapped into a blood vessel and it creates a blockage of blood supply. Okay? This is fatal. If you've ever seen a movie and there's a psycho on the loose that's trying to off somebody in a hospital or clinic or whatever, and they take an IV and they take a syringe and they inject air into the syringe so that air can go into the vein, they want it to travel to the heart. This is why it is fatal, okay? Now, with all of that being said, after Miss Girl decided to admit to her crimes, she was charged with 2 counts of homicide. She was charged with 1 count of attempted murder. She was charged with 1 count of aggravated assault. She was charged with 3 counts of reckless endangerment. And if you think for a second that Miss Girl was admitting to her crimes because she had then found Jesus and was a child of God and was deciding to clear her conscience, absolutely goddamn not. No, she was not. She was admitting it because she had a whole closet worth of skeletons. Okay, she had a whole cemetery inside of her closet. That is why she was admitting. She knew that it was only a matter of time before somebody did a little more digging and found the rest of her victims, which is exactly what happened. Okay? After a little more dirt diving into her business, because that's exactly what she is, investigators were able to trace her crimes all the way back to 2020. Y'all, this lady became a nurse in 2018. 2018. That means within 2 years of being a nurse, she was already killing people. Within 2 years. That lets me know that right then and there, you literally became a nurse with the intention of harming somebody. You became a nurse with the intention of killing somebody. Within 2 years. Within 2 years, she was already killing people. Within 2 years, you are already harming somebody's family member. Somebody, Papa came because he had a fall and broke his hip and you was injecting him with insulin within 2 years. Ma'am. What? So within 2 years, nursing home Annie was already killing, harming, and neglecting patients. Within 2 years, y'all. Within 2 years. This lady had a total of 22, because the number is argumentative, okay? Some people say 22, some sources say 23. Either one. It's too damn many. Either 22 or 23 victims. 19 of them died. 19 of her victims died. The ages were from 43 to 104 years old. 104. You ain't got that much life left anyway. Why? Why? Why would you do? This lady was absolutely disgusting. She was absolutely disgusting. There's no other. I try not to be judgmental. I try not to. I try not to be judgmental. I try not to pass my personal opinions. But in these videos, the thoughts and opinions are mine and mine alone, outside of the sources that I will cite for the information and the research. Okay, YouTube? She's absolutely disgusting. She's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely. So for her trial, on May 2nd of 2024, I told y'all this literally just happened. May 2nd of 2024. Okay? It is November. May 2nd of 2024. She was sentenced to 3 life sentences. This lady got 380 to 760 years with no chance of parole. Yo, the way I would have flatlined in that courtroom, I know she did what she did. She absolutely deserved what she got. But just hearing, not only are you telling me that I have a life, but you're telling me there's no person on this planet that's going to live 380 years. And then you add on the 760 to that. The way I would have needed resuscitation, the way I would have flatlined when I heard my sentence, the way that judge, first of all, as soon as the judge would have said la, she didn't even have to get the life out. As soon as the judge said la, I'd have fell out. As soon as the judge said la, I was out. I was out. They would have had to wake me up. They would have had to wake me up to finish hearing my sentence. And every time the judge talked, I would have kept falling out. Even though she absolutely deserved what she got. 380 to 760 years. I didn't even think that type of sentence was humanly possible. But she got it and her ass deserved it. Absolutely. Good job to this judge. One that finally got it right. She absolutely deserved it. Okay? According to documents, Heather stated that she just wanted to end the suffering and end the pain of her victims, which was a lie. Absolutely not. Which was a bold-faced lie. Okay? A probable cause affidavit outlined text between Heather and the mother pissed me off. She pissed me off. There were text messages between Heather and her sick-ass mama where Heather was admitting to wanting to kill. And these messages dated back to 2022. She was caught in 2023. These messages dated to 2022, which means a whole year went by. A whole year went by that she was still harming and killing patients. A whole year. April 2nd of 2022, she texted her mother, "Can I kill this man in Taco Bell?" Taco Bell. What the hell did he do? Ask for fire sauce? What the hell did he do? Taco Bell. June 10th of 2022, she texted her mom, "I'm gonna murder already." And it gets worse. September 2nd of 2022, "This patient is driving me nuts." Well, that one, we have all had one of those patients or family members that just, you gotta go to the bathroom and take a 5-second break, or you gotta walk to your car and say a quick prayer. We've all had one of those. We've all had one of those. I ain't judging her for that one. But the last text, May 12th of 2023. Remember, she was caught in 2023. May 12th of 2023. "I drugged him already. I don't know how he is still awake." Lock the mama ass up too. Lock the mama ass up too. Because what the hell was your antennas when your daughter, when your sweet murderous Susie, baby girl, was telling you she wanted to kill people? What the hell? What did you say? LOL? An emoji? What the? Lock the mama ass up too. Lock the mama ass up too. Cause what the hell? Lock the mama ass up too. My mama would have called my job so goddamn fast. My mama would have called my phone. Brittany, did she? I know good and goddamn well you ain't just text me talking about you about to kill no girl. What the hell is wrong with you? I raised your ass so much better than that. What the hell you mean you? My mama would have reported me. Do you hear me? My mama would have turned me in for even what? A whole year went by that you could have said something. You could have said something. And don't get me wrong, the actions still fall on the lovely Miss Heather Pressdee. And I say lovely very loosely. Okay? The actions are still on her. Nobody did this but her. But you could have said something. A whole year went by and you sat silently. What did you think? What? I can't even. Even though there was a little bit of a silver lining with the sentencing that she got, I think the sickest part of this case is that so many people reported her. So many victims, so many of their family members, so many of her nurse colleagues, so many administration and physicians reported that something was not right. So many of them said something is wrong with this lady. And they were ignored. Nobody took it seriously. When the physician put in writing and documentation that she did not need to be handling patients when she was already being investigated for neglect, there was no reason for her to keep practicing. She should not have been allowed to practice anywhere. Anywhere. I don't care if she was sitting with fishes. She shouldn't have been able to do that. She should not have been able to continue practicing. There is no way her license should have been suspended while she was under investigation. There is no way that she should have been able to continue practicing. But she was. And 19 people lost their lives. And 19 people lost their lives. 19. Could all of this have been avoided? I don't know. I think so. Me personally, I think so. I don't know. I'm going to let you come up with your own thoughts and opinions. Okay? The aftermath of all of this, a lot of patients, family members have decided to bring lawsuits against these facilities where the patients were, which I absolutely agree. I hope they rip these companies to shreds. I hope they get every penny, half a nickel, worth a dime. I hope they get it all. I hope they get everything that they absolutely deserve. Because no, this will not bring their loved one back. This will not erase what has happened. The pain is there. It is never going to go away. But as we all know, every single thing is about $1, even healthcare. And the only way a lot of times to make a statement is to hit them in their pockets. You have to hit a company in their pockets. Even ones that are supposed to be dedicated to patient care. So I absolutely hope and pray that those patients' families get every ounce of $1 that they can. I hope that they could get the cotton that the dollar is made out of. I hope they can get the ink that is printed on the dollar. I don't know if they're going to pay them in Bitcoin. I don't know. I don't care what they're paying with. I hope they get it all. I hope they get everything that they deserve. Because this should not have happened. It should not have happened. This was a lady who was sick enough to take an oath to serve, to care for, to nurture people in their most vulnerable states. And she willingly and intentionally killed and harmed those patients. Sick. And think about her doing this intentionally. She was intentionally giving people lethal doses of insulin. It only takes a fraction of a second to misread an order or to not verify an order and give 2 units too many and have your patient cold because their blood sugar dropped almost instantaneously. It is that simple and it is that easy to put somebody at risk. It is that easy. We have to be careful. We have to be mindful. We have to double, triple, 4 times check your orders. Okay, and if you see something, say something. If your co-worker seems to be doing something, I'm not saying just tell on people for no reason at all. But if you see patient neglect, say something. If you hear patient neglect or harm happening, say something. If a co-worker makes a statement that you know, and I'm not talking about one of those statements like, oh, these patients getting on my nerves. We all have one of those patients. We all have one of those family members that we just can't wait till they leave so we can actually do our job. We cannot wait. I'm not talking about those kind of patients. I'm not talking about those kind of statements. If your coworker is verbalizing that they want to harm somebody, if your coworker is saying that they want to off somebody, and you know they have a history of some type of neglect or patient harm, say something. Because if not, you are just as guilty as they are. A lot of these patients cannot stand up for themselves. A lot of these patients cannot fight their own battles. We have to advocate for them. We have to be their eyes and ears. We have to be. Okay? With that being said, that comes to the end of this video. I hope you guys liked the first episode of our Messy Murder Nurse Mondays. If you guys like it, I will be... You know what? It's not an if y'all like it. It's the first one, so it's trial and error. But I already have another case that I'm researching that really just... It blew my mind 10 times more than this one. And I can't wait to show y'all that one next week. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And please, please, y'all, be safe. Take care of your patients. Be mindful. Be diligent. Be careful. Love your patients. Enjoy what you do. And if you are experiencing burnout and if you need a break, please take one. Don't ever put yourself or your patient in harm's way. Don't ever put your license or your patient's life in jeopardy, okay? I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.